A lot of the times the worst part about being stuck is when you get to that point of, I know this isn't the life that I want to live for myself. I know this isn't what I want to be spending my time on, but yet here I am, not putting time and energy into what I claim to want so bad. So how do we get out of that rut? How do we destagnatize ourselves? How do we unstuck ourselves? You've come to the right place. I'm gonna break this down for you in 4 simple steps. At the end of this video, I'm gonna give a tangible example and walk you through how to use these 4 simple steps. My name is Nene. Thank you so much for being here on my channel. I'm grateful to have you here. Let's talk about self-improvement, how to become the best and truest version of you. So we've all been there. Let's normalize being in a rut. Let's normalize not being able to get out of bed. Let's normalize having those moments where you're like, hours have gone by and I've been doom scrolling and I've been binge watching this series on Netflix, and trust me, it's fine. We all have those moments, but when it's a continuous, habitual problem and it's preventing you from being the person that you truly want to be, preventing you from thriving, preventing you from joy that is your birthright, that's when we have a problem, and that's what we're about to break down. How to unstuck yourself. Number 1, recognize the pattern. Duh. The first step to unraveling a problem is admitting that you have a problem, right? So firstly, you need to recognize the pattern, and a lot of people can actually kind of skip this step unknowingly because they're not actually being truthful about what a habit is doing to them. Especially if it's a habit that's super normalized and even celebrated in our culture, such as alcohol and smoking weed and doom scrolling, being on your phone all the time, using AI instead of being creative yourself. So a lot of these things that are kind of just embedded in our culture, just because something is easily accessible and, like I said, normalized and popular, doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for you, especially at the extent that you may be using it. So the first step is recognizing the pattern. And some tips in doing this is, of course, mindfulness, bodily awareness, body scans. If meditation isn't really your thing and you don't even want to try guided meditations or body scans, then perhaps journaling or perhaps any other activity or hobby that you have, try doing it mindfully. Try doing it while being present the best you can. Try doing it in silence. Try doing it in a way where you're bringing awareness to the present moment, bringing awareness to your body. The more you insert these moments in your life, in your everyday life, the more attuned you'll be to your own inner voice, to your own inner heart, to your inner compass. So trying to implement silence into your life the most you can, whether it's while you're cooking, while you're brushing your teeth, going for a quick 5-10 minute walk after you eat. There's just so many different ways that you can implement silence and mindfulness into your life if meditation or journaling isn't a thing. But I highly, highly, highly recommend meditation and journaling 100%. There's so much science as to why this is great for you, and you can always ease your way into it, even if it's 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. Step number 2, identify what you must believe to be true in order for this habit to be continuing. This is where we get into our core beliefs. Behind every behavior that we do, whether it's conscious or unconscious, is a core belief. Our core beliefs are literally the engine to our motivation, to our behaviors, to our actions, to our perceptions, to the way that we view ourselves and the world around us. Everything always comes back to our core beliefs. So if there is a habit that you're doing or a pattern that you're stuck in, you have to ask yourself, what do I must believe to be true in order for me to be choosing to do this every day, or choosing to do this when I say that I don't really want to be doing this? What do I must believe to be true in order for this to be continuing? Sometimes this one can be a bit tricky, so to offer an alternative route to go about this core belief step. Sometimes we hold on to negative core beliefs that at one point served us, likely at one point did help us, did protect us, whether it was as a kid or recently or in a trauma response. At some point it did protect us, and now it's no longer serving us, right? So sometimes we still hold on to that negative belief because we believe that the alternative is worse. Rather than tackling the core belief of the negative pattern head on. Sometimes it's easier for people, or for me at least, to look at the alternative instead. So by alternative, I mean thinking ahead, as in, what is it that I'm desiring to replace this habit with? What do I feel like this habit is preventing me from doing? So what is it that I actually want? What is it that I actually desire? What is it that I'm actually shooting towards? And why am I not actually doing the things that will get me there? In other words, what is the fear that is behind this negative pattern? Because a lot of the times, like I said, the negative pattern is persisting because we believe that the alternative is worse. Meanwhile, the alternative likely is actually what we want. So to think about it in that alternative way can sometimes be a lot easier and a lot more straightforward because we're such fear-based species. I mean, it's for our safety and for our protection, but ultimately our fears can be a lot of the times what is holding us back from our joy, what is holding us back from what we want. So it's helpful sometimes to tackle it from the perspective of, okay, what is my fear then? What is the fear that's happening here? What is actually the roadblock that's happening here, causing this negative pattern to persist? Now that we have our core belief, now that we've identified our core belief, whether it is the negative core belief that we're working on or the alternative fear-based core belief that we're working on, we're gonna take that and we're going to challenge the heck out of that core belief, okay? We're going to unravel it, we're gonna break it down, we're gonna put it in the boxing ring, and we're gonna square up with our core beliefs. Why are you here? Where did you come from? Who taught me this? Is this true? Is this true? Heavy on, is this true? Is this logical? Genuinely ask yourself this, like, is this logical? Does this actually make sense? Or is this something that I just have continued to believe about myself because it was told to me once? And at that point, after it was told to me once, I simply started looking for patterns. I simply started searching to confirm for me, okay, yes, that is true. That one thing that was said to me, or that one thing that I read, or that behavior that was put onto me, that was projected onto me, and I then internalized it as my own identity. Whatever the core belief is, it's time to challenge it. Sit that core belief down and get to asking your questions. Is this something that you still want to believe about yourself? Is this something that is still serving your best interest? Is this something that you want to continue, that you want to persist? Is it? Is it? That's what I thought. So when you realize, this isn't logical, this doesn't make sense, this is where I adopted this from, this isn't mine, I don't want to be a belief thief and steal somebody else's belief, steal somebody else's self-limiting belief that they then projected onto me. Because a lot of times when somebody insults us or somebody tells us that we can't do something, it's actually them saying that they can't do something. And they don't recognize that, and they don't have the awareness of that, so then they get projected onto somebody else. So if at any point we also don't have the awareness to kind of separate that and to recognize, okay, that's a projection, we're more likely then to internalize and to feel like, okay, that must mean that what they're saying is true about me. When you break that core belief down, when you challenge that core belief, the next thing to do is explore your new possibilities. This is the last and most important step. Okay, this is where the rewriting comes in. This is where the reframing comes in. This is where the repurposing comes in. This is where we get to build our new identity. This is the most exciting part as well, because we get to create the person that we choose to become. We get to create the self-concept, the self-image, the self-worth that we have. We get to choose these things. We have that power. As soon as you start identifying and challenging your core beliefs, you are empowering yourself to create the life that you want to live. Sometimes you might still need a little bit more guidance, and again, that's fine. Communicate with your heart space, communicate with God, communicate with someone that you really, really do trust, communicate with your guides, communicate with your ancestors, whatever you believe, whatever feels right and good and true to you, communicate. Listen, open your heart, sit in that silence, and allow things to come through. And you don't have to take in what the messages that you get to choose what resonates and leave what doesn't, okay? This is where you get to choose. You are the master. You have the keys to your own house. So pivot towards what you want to believe. If these core beliefs aren't working, pivot towards what does. That's what's going to ground you and lay you a strong foundation that you can operate on, that you can actually attract, the life of your dreams, that you can actually feel good about communicating your wants, communicating your needs, because internally you know that's what you deserve, and you know that's what you genuinely desire, and you know that's what feels good to you, that's what feels good in your heart, that's what feels good in your body. These are active steps that we need to do again and again and again, because a lot of the times these core beliefs really end up being Pandora's box, and we think that we find the underlying core belief, and then we realize, oh, there's another one that's under that, and then there's another one that's under that. So it really is an unpeeling, getting the layers off. More of these layers that we peel off that have been conditioned onto us and projected onto us by, again, external forces. The more that we do that, the more authentic we become. And the more authentic we become, the more true our vibration is to our highest self. And when we are vibrating at our truest, most authentic frequency, that is where the magic happens. That is where the magic lies, y'all. That is where, oh my gosh, I feel so lucky. Oh my gosh, that is when the serendipitous happenings occur, and you're like, whoa, how did that even happen? I was just thinking about this, and now it just appears right in front of me. Yes, because you're vibrating at the frequency that you're meant to be vibrating at. So it starts with digging through your beliefs, peeling off those layers, and rewriting the narratives, rewriting the stories that you tell yourself. Okay, so now very quickly, I just want to run through a tangible example that I have used, just in case somebody kind of needs it, to really break down how this would be used in a real life scenario. So going back to step number 1, let's say the habit or the pattern is doom scrolling or creating but not posting. As somebody who knows that I want to be seen, I'm starting to question, okay, why am I spending so much time doom scrolling? Why am I spending so much time creating but I'm not actually posting my content? What's going on here? I know that I want to be seen. I know that I want to help people and to share my gifts. I know that I want to connect with people and bring people together and heal people on whichever scale that I can. So why am I doing these things instead of doing the actions that would actually lead me to what I'm claiming to want? So like I said, the pattern, let's stick to the creating but not posting as a pattern rather than the doom scrolling. So core belief. The core belief here would be, I'm not good enough to be seen. You can go into the intricacies of who said that, where does this come from, is this true, is this logical, is this something that I want to continue to believe about myself, is this something that is serving me? And then I'm also going to think it through in the alternative way that I was talking about earlier. So if the core belief is I am not good enough to be seen, then the alternative or the fear-based core belief would be I am good enough to be seen, right? So what fears would being good enough to be seen bring up for me? Why would I have hesitancies towards believing that? It could be an array of reasons. Let's say I'm afraid people might be jealous of me. I'm afraid people might not want to be around me as much because I might not be as relatable if I start getting attention. Let's say once I start getting attention, I won't really have as much leisure time as I'd like. I won't really get to lounge around as much. So I'm afraid I'll be too tired or too exhausted. Then I won't have time for my much needed and much respected rotting time. So those are some things that I could be afraid of when it comes to now I am good enough to be seen. So challenging all these fears could look like, well, first of all, if anyone is jealous of me or if anyone is feeling like they don't want to be around me because of attention that I'm getting, then they don't need to be in my life anyways. Those aren't people that are going to help me grow, that are going to help me learn. Those aren't people that I'm interested in growing with either. Next would be the time to lounge around or the fear of exhaustion from being so busy. If I start getting that attention, if I start being seen to the degree that I feel like I've been anointed to be seen. To be honest, my passions, what I truly do feel like I was placed here in this body to do, is never going to do anything but physically exhaust me. It's never going to mentally exhaust me. It's never going to spiritually exhaust me. It's never going to emotionally exhaust me. The only things that do mentally, emotionally, and spiritually exhaust me are things that don't actually align with me. But of course, my body is my physical body, so I will get physically tired sometimes, and that's why rotting, to an extent, is healthy and is okay and is normal, and we all need periods to just do nothing. We're not meant to be doing all the time, especially as a woman. I cycle up with the moon, okay? I don't run on the same testosterone type of cycle that half the population does. So yes, I give myself time to rest, and once I actually do commit myself to my passions and to what fuels me, like making these videos, like singing covers, I'm not gonna feel as drained as I fear that I would. So those are some challenges that I can make towards that fear, towards that core belief. And when it comes to rewriting, when it comes to exploring new possibilities, this is when the affirmations come dishing out, okay? Because I deserve to be seen. I am worthy of being seen. My gifts are meant to be shared. The scale to which my gifts are seen, or to which the people that I reach, is not up to me. The timing as to when this all happens is not up to me. So I will not focus on that. It's just going to stress me out and cause unnecessary burdens. It's not up to me to figure out, so why am I trying to figure it out? I can choose to focus on, I can choose to pivot my attention towards what I actually have control over, which is showing up and doing my best and being creative and having fun and feeling connected to source and helping people and reaching people and communicating what's in my heart and being vulnerable. That's what I have control over, and that is what I am choosing to spend my attention on. And the more that I show up and do that, the more that I'm going to be empowered to be seen. And the smaller and smaller and smaller and quieter and quieter and quieter that initial core belief of I don't deserve to be seen will be showing up. Therefore, the patterns will again be less likely to happen, because I won't be having those thoughts that will be causing those behaviors to happen. Instead, I'll be having these thoughts that I'm rewriting, and it'll make me excited, it'll make me happy, it'll make me feel good overall to be able to show up and do what I love to do, as we all deserve. So on that note, that's all I have for y'all today. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your energy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If anything resonated, please let me know down below in the comments. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk about. And if not, I'll see you on Tuesday with my next cover. I love you. I love you. I love you.